Hey, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Dave Dierks from the Storm Track 5 Weather Center. Got a couple of things we want to talk about. Of course, the important stuff tonight is the flood threat as well as the wind threat that will come as the remnants of Hurricane Helene start to approach late Thursday night and Friday. That's still a little bit of time away. But I also wanted to update you. Last night at this time, we were doing wall-to-wall coverage on CYB and also at times on Facebook with that tornado warning and then subsequent severe thunderstorm warnings that came through the Tri-Cities. So the National Weather Service, this is from yesterday, the tornado warning that was issued. The National Weather Service sent a survey team to Hancock County, and they did determine that there was an EF1 tornado with the peak gusts of wind, peak wind at 110 miles per hour, developing near Sneedville and stayed on the ground for about 6 miles near Kyles Ford, and the width of the storm was 250 yards. Now, thankfully, it was in largely rural parts of this Hancock County, so just mainly some uprooted trees and snap trees. That's bad enough, but thankfully there were no injuries. But I just want to let you know that storm we were tracking did drop a tornado. But today it's been all about the rain and some of the flooding that has occurred from the heavy downpours. I wanted to show you a picture that we got. This is probably about an hour or two ago that we got this picture. This is from Mount Carmel, and you can see the rain gauge here up to 4 inches, and that's today. That shot from Ken McNew. We had a rainfall record for the date at the Tri-Cities Airport. This is as of 5 p.m. 1.53 inches of rain falling, breaking the record of 1.38 set way back in 1938. So we're still adding on to the 24-hour total for this date. So that will be going up. That 1.3 will continue to drive up through midnight. Another record that may be in jeopardy is the largest 3-day total officially for the Tri-Cities, and there's the top 6. The highest total for 3 days at the airport, 5.27 inches, and that occurred in 2013. And we're already well on our way into that because we do expect rain off and on tonight, right on through Thursday and Friday. So it's possible we could have the highest 3-day rain total in the Tri-Cities with this event. Power 5 Doppler Radar still tracking steady rain across nearly all of the area. We've got some storms firing up in the North Carolina mountains here in Mitchell, Yancey, Avery County up toward Boone. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for Watauga County, possibly some hail with that cell over the Boone area pushing to the northeast, but it looks like mainly a rain threat for northeast Tennessee, southwest Virginia, and some moderate heavy downpours, especially in an area kind of bounded by Kingsport, Fall Branch, Limestone, South Central Irwin toward Roan Mountain, Trade, Mountain City. That does include just about all of the Tri-Cities area, and the heavier rains now across southwest Virginia. Everybody's getting rain, but you can see the heavier rains right now, areas of eastern Scott County from Nicholasville right on through Damascus, Abingdon, up toward Marion, northward to include St. Paul, Lebanon, Chatham Hill, Grundy, and also Richlands. And steady feed of moisture continues, and a new flash flood warning was actually issued just a few minutes ago for parts of Greene County, in fact, all of Greene County, Hawkins County, and the western portion of Washington County, Tennessee. This flash flood warning does extend back toward Cobb County, Newport, and into the Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area, in effect until 10 p.m. Already several inches of rain have fallen, as I showed you that, and we'll show you in just a moment. And the heavy rain, at least moderate to heavy rain, continues, and officials in the Greenville area already reporting some road closures. So be mindful of that as we go through the rest of tonight, that the flooding situation will only get worse in especially flood-prone areas. But these are rainfall estimates. This is just 12 hours, so what is it, about 7:10? So since about 7 o'clock this morning, you can see in the green shaded areas, which encompasses everybody that didn't get more, at least a half an inch of rain estimated. The yellow areas are at least an inch to an inch and a half, and then we have these zones here in the red, stretching here from near Greenville, South Central, Bulls Gap, Rogersville, Bayleton, up toward Kingsport and Gate City, where 2 to 4 inches of rain estimated by Doppler radar, and that zone, that tongue of 2 to 4 inch rains extended up through Scott County, near St. Paul and Wise County up toward Davenport. So flood watch obviously will continue not only tonight but through midday on Friday. The danger will be with us for a couple of days, and be especially cautious at night when it's a whole lot more difficult to see what's going on, even in good conditions, right? But with any water on the roads, it may be hard to recognize that, plus any debris that might somehow get on there. Should there be a rock slide or landslide on some of those secondary roads especially, be mindful of that. And of course, if you come across a flooded roadway, turn around to find another way. And if it's barricaded by officials, make sure you don't try to go around those. But nonetheless, so we could see an additional 2 to 6 inches of rain across much of northeast Tennessee, southwest Virginia. Mountains of Tennessee could see an additional 3 to 8. And into the mountains of North Carolina, there could be some real major flooding concerns as we expect 5 to 10 inches of rain with locally higher totals, and that will result in some serious flooding. We'll talk a bit about Helene, which right now is a Category 1 storm. It's going to expect to explosively intensify into a Category 4 storm. So right now it's just north of Cancun, Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, expected to make landfall as a Cat 4 near Apalachicola, Florida, the Big Bend area there of Florida, with winds perhaps sustained at 130 miles per hour. Then it's going to start moving very quickly to the north, even by 2 a.m., and that's expected to make landfall about 7 p.m. Thursday evening in that area. But by 2 a.m. Friday morning, still a Category 1 storm forecast by the National Hurricane Center in southwest Georgia, and then rapidly pushing by 1 p.m. Monday into middle Tennessee. Now, we're not in the cone anymore, but regardless, that's not even terribly important. We're going to be on the east-northeast side of that, so a lot of that rain and the gusty winds will be influencing our weather. In fact, for late Thursday night into Friday midday, we have a tropical storm warning, which doesn't happen too often in our area, and that does include the mountains, central mountains, southern mountains, and then into the area near Charlotte, Point South, Greenville. But this does include Avery, Yancey, Mitchell, and Yancey counties. Now, that means we could see, again, very late Thursday night for the strongest winds into Friday morning, perhaps some gusts, some winds, frequent winds up to 40, 50 miles per hour, but there might be some gusts up to 75 miles per hour in spots, maybe not everywhere, but that is a concern. Of course, hurricane warnings for eventual landfall in about 24 hours here from Apalachicola, Florida to Cedar Key. So this is probably about where it's going to make landfall, right through here, about 7 p.m. on Thursday. But those hurricane warnings extend well inland into parts of central and southwest Georgia. But in any event, there is a high wind watch for this same time frame, for mainly late Thursday evening, especially overnight Thursday into Friday, when the winds will be the strongest. This high wind watch does encompass all of northeast Tennessee and most of southwest Virginia into southeast Kentucky in the late Thursday night, Friday time frame, especially toward morning Friday into the midday, early afternoon hours. We could see some gusts of wind near 40 miles per hour, perhaps some peak gusts in our more wind-prone locations in the Tri-Cities up to 50. Won't be sustained at that, but gusts too. And our mountains could see some gusts over 50 miles per hour, perhaps up to 60 or 70 mile per hour in the more wind-prone locations of our East Tennessee mountains and perhaps some of our Southwest Virginia counties as well. So just be mindful that with those strong winds, the saturated ground will be more susceptible, especially in the higher elevations, to some downed trees and power lines that could then cause, the downed trees, which then could cause some scattered power outages. Just be aware of that possibility as well. Now, I do want to let you know that one way you can stay connected with the Storm Track 5 team is with our Storm Track 5 weather app. You can get radar, the latest alerts. You can see our weather forecast from the television that we record, and that is also free of charge for your cell phone, iPhone, Apple, and also on your Android. We also encourage you, if it's safe to do so, to share your weather story with us. Let us know how much rain you've had. Let us know if you got any damage. Let us know if any roads closed. Pictures and videos really help us tell the story of what's going on with all weather events, but this one being no different. But it's absolutely crucial that you only do so if it's safe to do so. You keep yourself out of danger. We don't want any risk being taken, but we do very much appreciate the pictures and videos at WCYB.com/chime in. All right, so that's what we know right now. Be safe out there. I think there will be some flash flooding and flooding risk across the Tri-Cities area tonight, right on through tomorrow. and tomorrow night and into at least midday. It looks like by midday on Friday, the steadier, heavier rains will start to lift north of us and northwest, and that should begin to allow for things to improve. They'll still stay breezy Friday afternoon, Friday evening, but the heavier rains look to wind down around midday or so on Friday. I hope you will join us again tonight on Fox 39 News at 10, and again on News 5 WCYB at 11. I'll have the latest weather update and let you know if anything has changed. Thanks for watching.